In the middle of Corona, I left Belgium with barely any hair on my head and barely any money in my pocket. I went to Switzerland, travelled around, and finally found the house on the hill. A sweet young old lady was working there, but the true owner of the house was Pete, also known as Little Fat Pete, the Petosaurus, Chubby Pete, and Pete McAwesome.
Pete is dead.
His previous owner had left him, but still, Pete was rather content. He spent his days in the shed, sleeping in the hay, catching some mice and strolling around in the forest, owning it all. Yet, when I arrived, things changed.
Pete is dead.
Suddenly, he was allowed inside the house. He could sleep in front of the fireplace. He could sleep in my bed.
Pete is dead.
He could sneak up on Pushkin and jump scare her.
Pete is dead. Pete is dead. Pete is dead.
He was loved. He was so loved. Sometimes something in his eyes twisted, and he would attack me. He would attack anyone with all his strength.
Pete is dead.
He would jump on your leg, on your arm. He would scratch you, and he would put his teeth in your flesh until you bled.
Pete is dead. Pete is dead. Pete is dead. Dead. Dead.
Jokingly, I told everybody that Pete was still more reliable than any man, a point that my two next boyfriends desperately wanted to prove true. Pete was an amazing cat.
Pete is dead.
He jumped in trees,
He is dead.
climbed ladders,
Dead.
rolled around in snow,
Dead.
and he was the greatest hunter of them all.
He is dead. Pete is dead.
His belly was always empty, but he knew how to fill it.
Pete is dead. Pete is dead.
He's dead.
Dead. Pete is dead. Pete is dead.
Last week, I heard that karma has struck once again. The hunter became the hunted, and a bird of prey took revenge on all the birds that Pete has killed.
Pete is dead.
I love you, Pete. I love you. You were there when nobody else was. Shine bright, you little fat crazy diamond.
Dag Piet. Ja, Piet. Oké, Piet.